Hello, fellow compatriots, this is your host, Rahkshi here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Felnorahk, which is what I call the Rahkshi of Dodge. Now, before we get into articulation and functions, let's first figure out how big this guy is, and then afterwards we'll be talking a little bit about the lore of such a figure. So, Felnorahk stands roughly about to the top of his head, 8 inches tall, and the centimeter measurement will be up in the corner. Now, if we were to factor in those spines of those, up to the top of his spine is roughly about 9 3/4 of an inch tall. Centimeter measurement will be up in the corner. Let's go straight into articulation. So, let's go start at those arms. So, arms, they can go up all the way. As you can see, those shoulders move out of the way to accommodate such articulation. You can do the full 360, almost kinda 180 degrees, because it's limited by the shoulder, which the shoulders, they can wiggly waggly all ever which way. Elbows, they bend 9 degrees. And as you can see, that is a G2 head. Now you're probably wondering, what about those forearms? Are they weak? No, they can handle quite a bit of abuse. And as you can see, I'm holding it up in the air, and that's not bending. You see, it's not bending. I wonder how that happened. Ball joint at the wrist, you could probably imagine the articulation of that. And you also got finger articulation. Same on the other side, but a little bit different. As you notice, there's this obtrusion over here, so it doesn't rotate all the way. But for over here, because it's open, it can rotate all the way. Isn't that fabulous? I think it is. Now let's go straight into those lovely ankles. Look at that. Bend backs all the way to allow for the flight mode, and you can get side to side as well. And also, a lot of slanted if you lean it back and then do that, which is common for Rahkshi. The knees, they bend past 9 degrees, so excellent range over in there. And let me plug that tube in. You can do the high knees. If you rotate this, gets a little bit higher. And yes, you get a little bit of a swivel. You know, he can do the cha-cha-cha. Maybe salsa, do the whole Van Damme, do the full Monty. You know, this Rahkshi is very flexible. And of course, this does the wiggle waggle. This does the wiggle waggle. His thrusters, they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and down and up. They're on a ball joint, so you get to imagine the articulation with that. And the head, how can I forget the head? He looks up all the way, so he can be all like, squirrel! And he can look down all the way, or you can just break his neck. He can look left and be like, what the hell? And then he can look like that and be like, oh, hey, I know that. You know, he's very expressive for a little guy, and you can do that with his legs if you want him to be all like, I don't know, Makuta, do I have to? Do I have to, man? Do I have to, man? I don't even want to do it. The tower, I just want to dodge away from everything. And speaking about dodging, let's go straight into the lore of this guy. So, when it comes to Felnorahk, the Rahkshi of Dodge, and the direction that I decided to go with this figure was this emphasize on the silver and red, because unlike the other Rahkshi, it does not have any gray on the build in general. Now, Makuta possesses 42 powers and abilities, and one of those, coincidentally, is the ability to dodge. When it comes to the Rahkshi of Dodge, the Krata in particular is able to go ahead and move away from any incoming threat, depending on what level they are, they can be quite efficient at doing so. Even if you have the Mask of Speed, you will never be able to catch a level 7 Krata. There is just no chance. They are too fast, too strong, and there is just no chance. Especially level 6 is just as difficult. So, what happens when you make such a Krata become a Rahkshi armor? Now, that's the thing about Rahkshi, is that it takes 2 Krata to make a functioning Rahkshi. So one crota becomes the shell and the other becomes the little worm that slips inside. He's literally cuddling with his bigger brother, which is kind of creepy. You know, imagine having your twin brother inside of you. And piloting you like an Evangelion. With that in mind, my belief is that this particular Rahkshi would not necessarily have a staff, because it may intervene with the gate. It will need all fours to be able to go ahead and maneuver and dodge out of the way. Sometimes you may need to crawl on your hands and feet just to move out of the way, depending on the situation. So, instead of it having a staff, it has claws in its stead, so that it can slash and attack its opponents. But yeah, that's about it for this guy, so let me go straight into size comparison. So here he is with good guy, the Chaz of Chats, he will be your husband. Whoop! And here he is with bad guy, and he will kill your husband. Whoop! And that is it for size comparisons. Now, if you want to go ahead and see me make more of these builds using a lot of rare and exclusive pieces, let me know. Because I got quite a bit, and I'm planning to keep making a lot of Bionicle MOCs with a whole bunch of rare parts, because guess what? I am making my very own parts for Ascending Depths, and including that, making sets. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, be sure to go ahead and check out ascendingdepths.etsy.com. Link in the description down below. But hey, that is the end of the video. We're here. Yeah, we're at the end of the video. So be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys!